Okay, so for this video we're gonna be replacing the bank 1 catalytic converter for a 2007 Nissan Altima 3.5. As you can see, this is the catalytic. Just a look at how the ends look on the catalytic. And these are the tools that I'll be using. If you want to do this job, you'll need jack stands, a jack to lift the car up, and mostly the number 10s to do this job. You're gonna need to take the intake plenum out or move it to the side, as I'm gonna be doing. So to get started, I'll remove this and the air filter all together with the hose for the master flow sensor. So I'll get back as I show the next steps. Next, for removing the plenum, you'll need to remove this, and this one and this one, which are number 10. Alright, so let's keep going. As you can see, I removed the bolts and the nuts, and that's where I place them so that I don't lose them. Now I need to remove this number 10, this number 10, and then detach this housing, air filter housing, and the MAF plug, and the throttle body plug, also the electrical probe. Remove it so that you can disconnect it. That's next. Okay, so this is what you want to do next. You want to loosen this so that this piece of rubber comes off of the throttle, and this hose, you will need it to be loose from here. You might not even have clamps here, or you might have, but what I did is I loosened this and this so that I have a mobility here. I'll go ahead and unplug it, and I loosen it from this side so that I can just twist it like this and have it out of my way. Be careful with this because this might be old and brittle, so you might break it if you force it too much. You don't want to break any hoses so that you have to replace them later, but that's the idea. Now we unplug this up here. Okay, I'll show you that next. Also, before you remove this part, you want to unplug this, which is the MAF sensor. Okay, just hide it somewhere in the back. Now you can pull on this like that, pull it, and then bring it out in one piece, just like this. That's how it's gonna look. And that's it. Put it away. And now you have this flow, which is the connector for the throttle body. What you want to do is disconnect that next. Okay, it's kind of tricky, but it came off. So that's what you want to do next. And after this, since we have loosened the bolts for this already, as you can see, it's kind of moving, but it still don't want to come out. You see how it moves, but it don't want to come out because right behind here there is a number 10 bolt. I'll try to show it. There is a number 10 bolt. You need to get it off. It's not impossible to show, but if you stick your hand behind here, it's in the back. You'll feel it. It's the one holding power steering hose. Okay, I just want to explain some steps. This is how it's looking right now. For those who don't know, this is a in and out line for coolant. I believe this is for cooling the throttle body, whatever it is, but there's a coolant running in those lines. And when you want to lift this up and put it on the side, flip it like that. You also want to disconnect this little vacuum hose. You might want to do it right now. That way, when you move the plenum and flip it, it does not break it, because it will break it. Also, a little tip is, you know what, you don't want to struggle with these hoses because they are really strong and they don't want to turn. They're gonna make the plenum hard to flip over. You might want to disconnect the throttle body from these Allen keys. Those, it's gonna be 4 of them. Whenever you disconnect these, you can flip the throttle this way, and that way you can pull the entire plenum out and you don't have to deal with flipping it. That's another way to do it. I have done it before, but for this time, because I'm not really working so much inside, it's more about working in the back, then I'll just flip it. I'll just set it up to flip it. And also, whenever you are at this stage, I already took out these bolts, this and that, this and this one right there where my finger is. Those are these bolts. Just a review, and I wanna show now these hoses. These, which I'm touching, that one, and this one that you see on top. You'll have to disconnect those so that you can get your hands in there. And besides, those hoses are holding on to the plenum also, so they need to be disconnected so that you get to the 10mm bolt, which is right in the back, holding this hose that I'm touching right here, which is a power steering hose. And if you follow the hose like that with your fingers, you're gonna feel the bolt. It's in holding some bracket in the back. So after you remove that bolt, be very careful not to drop it, and it's gonna be very tight. I just let you know ahead of time. And after you remove that 10mm, then you can continue the work on flipping the plenum. Back to the video. For whoever is doing this for the first time, that green piece that you see right there is your PCB valve for this engine, and this is the 10mm I was talking about that is holding. I'll try to show the bracket. This is the hose I was talking about. That is the bracket, and the hole that you see there, that's where the bolt is gonna be. It's gonna be right in the back of the plenum right here. So that's gonna prevent you from lifting the plenum, just like I'm about to show. Okay, well, we're gonna disconnect this also, because this is still holding the plenum. So yeah, this will disconnect. And as you can see, these hoses too, all of these hoses. And I'll try to show how it looks once you start lifting the plenum. So it looks pretty tight right now. I'll try to get it and flip it so that I can show it next. But yeah, these 2 pieces here, this here, and this. No, let me see. No, this one, yeah, this hose, yeah, you disconnect it. It comes from the back, and this one was here. And let me see. No, this one stay place. Okay. and this one. The one that is gonna come out is this one. Let me see. No, you don't touch these vacuums except for this one that I explained, because that one's gonna break, which is this one. Comes down from here. Okay, what you disconnect is these three plugs. Just remember 1, 2, 3, and all of the rest of the hoses that you see here. This, for this little piece, you do disconnect them. Okay, that's much better. Leave this alone. This you don't touch, but remember, disconnect this one and these three plugs. This. Now you're good to go. As you can see, it's coming off. The one thing that's gonna be holding it really hard is gonna be those hoses, those two hoses right here with the water running and the throttle body. Just remember that, because that is gonna be the strongest part that holds the plenum from flipping. If you take out these 4 bolts, like I said, they are some Allens. You take them out, you move the throttle body to the side, and then this whole thing is gonna come out easy. But I'm not trying to work so much, so I'll just try to flip it. I'll show the next steps next. Okay, this is one man working here. It's a little battle, but now make sure you cover this up, because the last thing you want is some trash or bolts or something falling into there and not being able to use your engine anymore. So remember, what you need to do is just flip it like that. That's if you want to do that, or remove the throttle, like I said. Just be careful with this, and remember, this hose you need to disconnect it, because it's gonna break for sure. And after this, you wanna come back here, and that's what you're gonna start working on, the shield for the oxygen sensor. And after you remove the shield, or at least loosen it to be able to move it, and look at the catalytic converter bolts. That's the next step. It's gonna be like three number 10s. That's one. That's the second one, and there's one in the back. You might be able to see it by the sensor. By the way, you don't have to remove the sensor. You're just working on the shield. These 3 bolts that I showed, the ones that you need to remove. That's about it. That's the next step. And cover this. Okay, progress being made. This is how it's looking right now. You can see, let me see, let me move the phone a little bit. You can see I removed the shield. These are the 3 bolts. Those 3 are the ones that I took out from there. And this is how it's looking right now. Those 2 that you see, those are the ones that you're gonna get from the top. As you can see, I already removed the shield, but it stayed with the oxygen sensor, which is from this connector. It goes all the way back to the back, but the shield stays in place. You just move it to the side like I did right now. And those 2 bolts that you see at the bottom, I believe they are like 17 or 18, and that's the ones you're gonna get from here. That's why we remove all of these. The other 2 that are in the corners, that are hidden by the exhaust, those you get from the bottom, and I'll show that next. So these are the 2 bolts I took out from up here, as you can see. Yeah, right there. Now I have 2 more bolts to remove, and at this point you might want to have your jack stands ready and your jack set up and start lifting the car. Remember to be very safe about this. You don't want your car to, you don't want to have any accidents. I'm gonna lift it very high so that you can get underneath. Make sure you put some chokes in the back wheels and your parking brake very strong so that the car don't move. I'll get back next to the next steps. Okay guys, I want to emphasize, remove my phone a little bit. This is how you want your jack stand to look. You see how deep it's in there? As opposed to this one, which is not, it's not exactly plugged in there, so that is very firm. So this, I'll have to move this just a little bit back so that it sits just like the one I showed before. Guys, be careful because this is dangerous and you don't want to get hurt while doing this. Okay, so that jack stand is in place and I do approve. It looks safety. It looks safe to me. And then this one, that's how you want it sitting, not as I showed it the first time. Okay. Now you still have your jack in place. By the way, I'll just show real quick where I set it when I lift my car from the front. It's a big metal bar that rounds all the way here like that. You might not see it because of this cover, and it might be tricky because you might think that you need to remove this plastic cover, that splash guard, but for me it's not necessary because I just know where the jack is gonna grab, and then I just put it in place and I know it's gonna be okay without removing the splash guard. But just be careful. Okay, so now we're ready to work in the bottom, and this that you're looking up there is the one catalytic that we are replacing. Okay, I'll show that next. Okay, so next I'll try to show what we're doing is we'll be removing this and this. I believe they are 17, but I'll show it in the I'll put some reference when I edit the video. And we're gonna remove these, which I believe are 12s. Okay, and we're gonna remove these, but remember we took out the bolts at the top. This bracket, guys, this might be removed too, or at least loosened, because this flex pipe is gonna be hanging. It needs to be hanging in order for this to be able to come out, off and out. We need room, so that's the reason why we're gonna be loosening that. And back to the catalytic. Let me see if I can show it because it's really tight here. Okay, that is one bolt. That's one bolt. I don't know if you can see it because I don't see it focusing here, but I'll try. So that is one bolt. Yours is supposed to be like 16, 15. Mine is like something else because the last time I worked here I got the bolt stripped, and if you wanna learn something about it, you need to unbolt the catalytic little by little, all of the 4 bolts, or at least the 2 at the top at the same time and the 2 at the bottom at the same time, because what I learned is what happened when you unbolt only one. It gives the one remaining a whole bunch of pressure, and you don't want that because that's gonna make it easier to strip. You're gonna feel like it's not coming out, but the reason is because it's getting so much pressure from the one that is holding on this side that is out already. So all of the pressure comes to this side, and the bolt is gonna be under a lot of pressure, so it might look like it don't come out, but the reason is you start going a little bit here and then a little bit here so that the pressure comes even and you don't break any or strip any bolts. That's one good tip that you might want to follow when you're doing this job. And don't worry about this, how this bolt looks, because yours is gonna look like this one, because I had to replace my bolts with something else the last time. And I'll continue with this now. I'll remove the bolts here and here, and then I'll work on this pipe that I just showed. Once again, okay, so let's see. Once you have the bolts removed, as you can see, I'll deal with this later, but my bolt broke, as I was explaining. It could happen, so you can see it broke, but I'll have to drill this out, this side, and do it just like I did the other side, because we have to continue working. What I was going to explain right now is the wire that you see up there. It might be hard to see, but following this white wire here, the little connector that you see moving up there by the silver hose, that's gonna be the plug you need to unplug for this sensor. Hopefully you can see it because it's very hidden. It's right here, this sensor. So following the wire is the one up there. I'll go up there right now and show you where to disconnect. It will be this one right here. This plug, you see the white wire going down there, that's the oxygen sensor. So this plug right here, need to unplug it. That way you can take out your catalytic, as long as you loosen the pipes down there. I'll go down there now. If by any chance this plug becomes a pain for you to disconnect, as you can see, I managed to disconnect it. I had to insert this piece of wire in here. When I want to show it, right there underneath the little clip. Right there, I stick this little piece of wire and then press on it and pull on the other side. That's how it let go. If you have trouble doing that, then try. That's a way to get it out, because that is a nightmare. Okay guys, so for me, this is the connector I unplugged. By the way, it looks pretty dirty. I'll try to clean it. This is the bottom side. This is how the catalytic looks when it's sitting up there. But this is the reason why I'm removing it. That little nipple there is covering the O2 sensor, and I installed this one thinking that it would be just fine, but as you can see, if you get a nipple catalytic converter with a nipple just like that for your Nissans, it is gonna backfire on you, because these little things. Oh, they don't work well with the Nissan. It's gonna throw a code and it's gonna light the check engine light inside the vehicle, and it's not gonna be good. So this type of catalytics, don't use them in your Nissans unless you wanna somehow cut off this nipple, because it's supposed to block some codes from the sensor. But I thought it was no big deal when I installed it, because the one I have in the front in bank 1, in bank 2, the one by the radiator is not supposed to be, it don't have a nipple, so it did not give me any problems. But I bought this, and it brought a nipple with it, and that thing is no good for the Nissans. So you don't want to do that job with this type of catalytic, because it's gonna backfire on you. You're still gonna have the check engine light. So what I did is I bought this one, which I made sure it don't have the nipple, and by that I'm ensuring that the check engine light is not gonna be present this time. And I installed this new catalytic in bank 1 of the 3.5 Nissan Altima. So I'll continue the work. I just wanted to show that. And for this you're gonna need to remove this stud, these two. You're gonna place them on this new one, and also the auto sensor, you're gonna remove it and place it in the new one, the new catalytic that you're gonna put back in there, and that's gonna take care of the check engine line, hopefully for me, so that I can get my inspection done. Okay, so how do you remove the auto sensor? You're gonna set this in a flat surface. You're gonna put the 22 millimeter on top of here. You string it all the way from the top like that. You go all the way down, place it here. You go counterclockwise, and you might wanna hold this with your feet like that, and then put some force into it. I don't think I'll be able to do it with one hand, but I wanna show that you can use a 22 in this case, or sometimes there is a special tool that I want to show, but I don't think it's a plain video right now. Oh, it's this one. This is the one you can use also for whenever you don't have access to stringing the wrench through here. Then you can just go like this, put it on the side like that, and you stick something here. You work your way to get it out, get it off, and then plug it back in. That's whenever you don't have the catalytic out and you need to replace auto sensor. This is the tool that you need. Okay, this is how you clean the auto sensor. That's about it. Just try it out. This is what I'm using, by the way, brake cleaner, just in case. Just let it dry, and then you wanna unplug this protector, this protecting bolt, and stick your new sensor in the new catalytic. And I'm using only one hand, of course, so it's very difficult, but right there. Then I'll stick this threaded through here, just like that, and tighten it. Give it a good tight by hand. That should be good enough. remember, clean it with brake cleaner. That's the old catalytic, by the way. This is the nipple that I was talking about. As you can see, it's a failure, at least for the Nissans. That little light that you see there is from the little hole that they left in there, but it's no good. These type of catalytics do not work well with the Nissan. The catalytic itself, I don't know, looks pretty worn, but I'm replacing it. As you can see, I have this ready to go back in. So if you are following along with this video and tutorial, then you should be ready to come down here. This is how it's looking down here. As you can see, I broke another bolt here, by the way. You could use PB Blaster to lubricate the bolts so that you don't run into so much trouble like I am right now. Because this bolt, I want to show it. This piece of bolt, I don't know, but I'll have to take it out. And this is another thing that I removed. That's from for the connector for the actual catalytic. And this is how it's looking up there. By the way, the one that you see up here, that's the upper oxygen sensor, upstream oxygen sensor. So if you want to clean it, you might want to go ahead and spray some brake cleaner up there too before you install the new catalytic. So this is the space you have here, and as you can see, I did not touch this bracket, although I have done it before, but I had to disconnect this from the front catalytic, which is bank 2, the one that looks rounded, and the one we're replacing is the one that looks square, which is the bank 1. Okay, having explained that, this is the bolt I was talking about that I broke, and I have a broken bolt up there too, the one you see on this side, and that's the ones I'll have to drill out, unfortunately, but I'll get it done, then install some new bolts in there. Hopefully everything goes well and I can finish this job. But it's a work doable if you follow the steps and don't trip so much like I'm doing. But okay, for now I'll stop the video and clean up my catalytic and get it ready, the new one to be installed. Update on this broken bolt. I placed 2 pieces of 2 nuts up there, and with a 14 I'm pulling on the I'm trying to show here. I'm pulling on the bottom one, and the top one, as you can see, is holding on to the piece of the bolt that was sticking out previously. So that's how I'm being able to remove this bolt without drilling it, because I was thinking about drilling it before, but it's coming out. So this is just an idea, guys, that I wanted to show you. If you want to get some stock piece of bolt that has a big long tail that you could thread 2 nuts into it, then this is a pretty good idea on how to do it. Let me see if I can do it by hand. I don't think so, but it's been pretty stressful. It's 14 that I'm using. But okay, it's turning, and I want to show it came off. You see, now the hole is ready to be inserted with another of these bolts without problem. And this is what I did. Now I need to separate these two somehow and get them out. But this was the piece of bolt from this that was broken in there. Reason why, because I had a nut placed in this bolt, and like that, just in case it wouldn't let go so that it would stay secure. But I forgot to remove the nut before I started drilling the bolt out. I mean, impact, using the impact to get the bolt out. That's how it broke. There was no reason to break it, but I forgot about this nut. So this is the idea on how to get it out. I put this nut on the way you see it, because this washer here would not let me put the wrench in place, so I had very little space to work with. That's the side I had to put the nut on, and this one this way. But I managed to pull the piece of broken bolt out, so it's just an idea if anybody want to use it. Just wanted to show real quick. This is the setup I have. With this, I was gonna use this at first, but it's limited because it's not being able to reach up there, because it's a very long way. So I have this, and I don't have drilling oil for drilling metal, so you have to lubricate the tip of this drill bit. So I'm using PB Blaster, and you know what, actually it's doing a pretty good job. Also, I want to mention that I'm using a magnet to collect the pieces of metal, the particles. As you can see, you might not be able to see it, but this thing attracts the little pieces of metal very good, so you don't have to deal with getting them stuck in your skin. And also, I'm using eye protection. So that I don't get damage to my eyes. And hopefully you can see how the drilling is going. I'll try to stick my phone in here so that you can see the best shot of how the drill. That's how the drill is going. This right side is the one that I had to do the other day because of the same thing. I don't know why, but these bolts break. The car is really old, so you gotta watch out for that. But it is what it is, I guess. You have to drill it out just like the last time, except this time I'm using oil, and I'm pretty happy with the results. The piece of bolt that is in there, I tried to stick some nuts at the top of it, but it is like 1.5 inches long, and I managed to set two nuts up there, but I could not have any tool to move it so that I can unscrew the piece of bolt out of there. Except I noticed also that the exhaust is right up there, so it might have given me some trouble doing it that way. But right now I could say like I'm halfway into drilling this bolt that broke, and I will be getting it out as soon as I can drill the hole through the bolt all the way up. Wish me luck. So I'll continue to work. Back to the hill. This is what it took to get that piece of stud out, drilled through the stud, and then the drill bit broke. We had to remove the whole thing out by force. It got stuck in the exhaust, and right now I want to show how it's looking. The hole is already there, but we have some bits of the stud still stuck in there, as you can see them. So we're gonna take those pieces out, and hopefully the new stud is still gonna thread in there. If not, we're still gonna put some other piece like a stud, a thinner stud that just goes through there, so that we can tie it just like we did the other side, this other side. Okay, so that's how much work it took. As you can see, we have been putting in a lot of work to get it out. Update. This is 14 with a half inch. That's how I'm tightening these bolts that are behind the shield. By the way, I already tightened the oxygen sensor in the new Catalityc bank 1, and I already threaded the wire back to its place. All I'm doing right now is tightening these bolts, and then I'll do the bottom ones so that I can start closing the car already. As you can see, we're almost there. Okay, quick take here. I have done the bolts from this side. I put some bolt with the head facing up, coming down for that, and this other one to the right here is kind of tight here, so I can barely move. For this one, the same thing. I put the bolt head at the top and coming down to the bottom, and I installed the nut from the bottom. So actually it was a pretty good install. It cut on pretty good, and it is strong. Also, you can check for the side of the tire. That's a pretty good view, because you're giving it torque, and you want to make sure that it closes like a straight line, like that, like a straight line. You need it closed, you don't need any gaps. And remember to put the O-ring, which is the metal ring that's like kind of bubbly. Yeah, don't forget that. And also here you have to put the O-ring at the bottom. After this, you have plug the O2 sensor back into its place. Now you need to secure the heat shield at the top right there, and you need to close this back. Remember, you can run into a lot of trouble, and be careful if you want to be using a torch or whatever. I don't really use that, but you have plenty of stuff to loosen so that you can wiggle the catalytic out of here. It will come out for sure. Just be patient. And this is what you're removing, this, and of course this side. So I'll tighten this right now. We're gonna use the studs for that. So this one side just threads up here, and the other is gonna have the nut tightening it. That's about it. And I'll continue closing the car. I'll update next. Okay, so we have put this back. I just put this nut just in case everything else gets loose for some reason. It will not, but somehow I feel safer like that. I did tighten it, but slightly. And then we have these studs. Like I said, they just go from behind like this, and then you put the bolt here. Make sure this line close just like you want it here, just like you want it everywhere in the catalytics. Also, you want these lines where they meet to be closed, because you know what, you don't want any exhaust leaks. And okay, I just wanted to show that everything is back in place. I also placed the auto sensor back in place, tighten it just by hand with the 22, and then put the line back up there, make the connection. Right now I'm at the point where I just need to put back the heat shield, which is this thing right here. I'll do that from the top, and then I'll start working on putting the plenum back. So that's how much work it takes to do this catalytic. It's not an easy job. It's a lot of money if you take it to a shop, but it is doable, and I'm showing you how to. Okay, next update. I put the shield bolts back into place. That's one. That's two. And you might want to start with the one behind the heat shield. You can see the head of it. The way I did it is I put the bolt through the shield and then find the hole in the place where it tightens, and pretty much the same for this one and this one. So that's the 3 bolts for the shield. After I tighten that, then I can put the plenum back into its place and start closing it. I'm already closing it. Okay, next update is up. So I have the plenum, put it back, and I have the shield already in place. As you can see, the auto sensor plugged already, and I believe it's in a good place. It's not in the way of the thing that gets really hot. Now I'll go ahead and put back the plenum. I'll show it next. Remember, you have these bolts, whatever direction you put them. Like for example, I put this head facing this way. That means it's the bolt that goes in the back on this side, and then the other one this side. Whatever the direction I set the head, that's where it goes. So if you can put it back right in its place. And remember, this little thing is the one that goes back there, right here in this bracket. It's number 10. That's gonna give you a lot of trouble whenever you're trying to take out the plenum. Okay, so I removed the thing that I had holding the plenum. Now the plenum is in place. Remember, this is how you set the bolts back. Just put the one that is with the head. Let me see if I did it wrong. This one. Just put them back like that. Then you're gonna tighten them. I might put the torque in it, but I do it all by hand. But okay, once you have done that, remember to put this back. This connector, you gotta listen to it click like that. Right there. I believe we have disconnected also some line. This line over here, this vacuum line. Remember, if you don't remove it when you're taking the plenum, it's gonna break, so you'll have to replace it. But in my case, I removed it, so I just put it back on, just like that, and we are good up to now. Now I reconnect the throttle body right there. Then this is gonna be my plug for the MAF sensor, and that's when I put the box for the air filter back in. For now, I'll just tighten these bolts. I might put the torque specs in the screen, but I believe it's 12, these bolts, 12 foot-pounds, but don't take my word, you can research that. Replace these holes back into place, except I'll put this 10 millimeter back into the bracket back there before I start tightening this, because that's gonna give me some wiggle room to make it fit easier. I'll show the next update. Next update, I put the vacuum lines. You see, don't forget, we disconnected these two also. These two vacuum lines. It goes here. This one goes here. Right there, put it back. Just take a good look. Make sure nothing's missing. Everything looks very good. So now I had replaced also the back hose. I replaced the hose that was on top of the PVC, and this line, although my line is pretty cracked because the hose is very old, I'll still make it. Now I need to work on this hose that goes with this right here. I'll have to put this in place and do the connections and then the other pieces, but I'm pretty much getting done here. Next update, I have the hose with a number 8. I did it, but you can do it with a flat screwdriver if you don't have the number 8 socket. And I have the box put in place. There's some little holes that you have to insert it into. Right there, you can see it, barely see it. Gotta put back the MAF sensor plug. And I'm pretty much done here. I'll just put this away, towel, and I have the air box back in place. Also, if you don't have a scanner tool to erase codes, after you replace the catalytic, you need to erase the light for the code that is triggering the light for the catalytic. If you don't have the scanner to do that, then you can just disconnect the negative battery terminal. And this is the piece that I'm missing right here, and that's about it. I'll just put the bolts go in here. It's about 3 of them, and I'll be done. Then I'll put the engine cover. I'll show that later when I have everything assembled. There's not much here to do anymore, except you need to go and click on the subscriber button so that you can get more updates on this type of car, 2007 Nissan Altima 3.5 engine, and whatever else you want to know about this type of car, or the 2.5, which is the Altima also. Any Nissan, actually, you can ask questions in the comment section and I'll answer them. Okay, people, I have a lot of mess with tools that I need to gather, but thankfully I'm already finished with the job. Hopefully you have learned also how to do it yourself if you take on this job. Just take one step at a time. Don't worry too much about how much it takes to do it. You will make it. And I already put the hood down now. The 10 making. It's a done job. So please subscribe, and I'll keep on loading videos. Whatever work I do, I'll try to make a video and upload it so that you guys can learn too, the ones that have subscribed. Believe me, it's worth it. I know a lot about repairs, and I'll keep working on them. Whatever you have, you wanna ask a question, don't worry about it, just ask and I'll answer. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one. the light instant.